Take one deliberate breath in and let it go. Do it again, slower this time, noticing the lift of your chest, the subtle stretch in tired ribs, the pulse beneath your fingertips. That pulse is a quiet miracle. It beats every second without your permission, fueled by an unseen mercy that decided you should wake up again today. Some people did not. You did. And that matters. Maybe you didn't rise with triumphant faith. Maybe you opened your eyes and the weight returned before your feet even touched the floor. Responsibilities that don't take a day off. Grief that still sleeps beside you. A mental to-do list that scrolls inside your skull like a news ticker nobody else can see. If so, hear me. You are not weak for feeling that weight. You're human, and every human life has limits. Limits aren't flaws. They're fingerprints of the one who designed us to need something beyond ourselves. The same God who set boundaries for oceans, this far you may come and no farther, also designed boundaries around your strength. He knew the day would come when you'd whisper, "I can't do this anymore." And that whisper was never meant to be the period at the end of your story. It was meant to be the comma that introduces his strength. And because that quiet miracle is still beating in your chest, let's move from noticing God's mercy around us to admitting what's really happening inside us. So for the next few minutes, put down the news, the noise, the notifications. Let this space be holy ground between your chaos and the comfort of Christ. It's not escapism, it's recalibration, the realignment of a weary soul with an unwearying God. Psalm 46, 1-2. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Refuge, strength, ever-present help. That verse is your invitation. Run toward the refuge, not from it. The Lord is not annoyed that you're tired. He's a father who rushes toward the cry of his children. And if you can't even cry, the sighs you exhaled getting out of bed were prayers he already interpreted. Today is not about pretending you're fine. It's about bringing the broken you into the presence of a builder who never discards shattered pieces. The goal is not instant relief. The goal is honest release. You hand him what's too heavy, and he hands you peace that doesn't make sense. Take one more breath. Hold it for 4 counts. Exhale slowly, picturing your burdens riding that breath right into his hands. Raw honesty is only half the healing. Now let timeless truth recalibrate every shaky thought. Lord, I've run so far on reserve power that I can't remember what full feels like. I wake up tired. I go to sleep tired. Some nights anxiety plays ping-pong in my skull until 3 a.m., and when morning comes, I paste a polite smile over the exhaustion because responsibilities don't respect insomnia. I confess that I have tried to outstrong my weakness. I'm guilty of performance faith, putting on a brave face so the world doesn't see the cracks. I've said, "I'm fine," when I was falling apart, because I feared if people saw my weakness, they'd disqualify my voice. But you are not repelled by weakness. You're drawn to it. You did not come for the healthy. You came for the sick. You did not condemn the woman wiping your feet with tears. You commended her honesty. You didn't silence Bartimaeus' loud desperation. You amplified it with a miracle. So I whisper, maybe for the first time out loud, I am not fine. I fear I'm failing more than I'm succeeding. I fear disappointing people who rely on me. I fear waking up tomorrow to the same unsolved problems. And in the deep corners I seldom visit, I fear that if I stop performing, I'll be forgotten. I place these fears on your table. I refuse to sanitize them or shrink them. They're real to me. So real they hijack my heart rate and hijack my worship. But they are not more real than you. Only one gets to sit on the throne of my heart. Today I dethrone fear and enthrone Christ. Forgive me for carrying what you asked me to cast. Forgive me for ignoring your open arms while I tried to juggle burdens. you never meant for my hands. Teach me that surrender is not laziness. It's the sanity of a soul that knows its shepherd. I drop the mask. You get all of me, the messy, the moody, the magnificent possibility hidden in clay. If David could bring you broken psalms, I can bring you broken sentences. If Elijah could bring you burnout, I can bring you mine. If Thomas could bring you doubts, I can bring you mine. I confess, and in confession I breathe again. These promises aren't theory to memorize, they're oxygen for tired lungs. Let's breathe them in one line at a time. Isaiah 40:29-31 NIV. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, 9-10. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. When I am weak, then I am strong. Psalm 73:26. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Lamentations 3:22-23. Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Romans 8:26. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. When we do not know what we ought to pray for, the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And because God's word always lands in real lives, listen to how one midnight breakdown became a morning breakthrough. Maria never thought it would happen to her. She was always the strong one, the planner, the dependable one, the one who always had backup batteries and contingency plans. Her calendar was color-coded. Her pantry was labeled. Her life was reliable until it wasn't. It started with little things. Forgetting where she parked, skipping lunch because she didn't feel hungry, a persistent ache in her chest that doctors called stress. She kept telling herself it would pass, that it was just a busy season. Then came the night she couldn't hold it in, 4:47 a.m. Her pillow was soaked from silent tears. Her hands trembled. Her thoughts raced. God, I can't do this. I can't carry it all. I've reached my limit. That's when she remembered a verse she hadn't thought of in years. He holds all things together. Colossians 1:17. Even me? Even this? She sat up, opened her Bible app, typed held into the search bar. Every verse felt like oxygen. Underneath are the everlasting arms. Deuteronomy 33:27. You hem me in behind and before. Psalm 139:5. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. Psalm 55:22. Her breakdown didn't vanish, but something shifted. She realized she didn't need to be the one holding everything, because the one who holds the stars held her, and that was the beginning of healing. If Maria's story proves God still holds the shattered, then let's speak that grip over our own lives, declarations that drown out discouragement. I'm at my limit, but God is limitless. I feel weak, but his power rests on me. I can't see the way, but he orders my steps. I may break, but he holds me together. Today's load feels heavy, but his yoke is light. I'm stretched thin, but his grace is thick. I've run out of words, but the Spirit intercedes. My emotions are loud, but his peace is louder. My timeline feels delayed, but his plan is always on time. I'm weary in the waiting, but I will reap if I do not give up. Bold words anchor the present, and ancient stories confirm the pattern. Watch how God treated another worn-out servant named Elijah. Let's talk about Elijah, not the fire-calling, idol-defeating Elijah, not the hero of Mount Carmel, but the other Elijah, the one right after that. Because right after his most public victory came his deepest personal valley. Verse 2 19 tells us Elijah ran, not to celebrate, to collapse. He had reached the end of himself. He told God, "I have had enough. Take my life." He wasn't being dramatic. He was done. He laid under a broom tree in the wilderness and fell asleep, hoping not to wake up. But what did God do? He didn't scold. He didn't shame. He sent an angel with bread and water and rest. No sermon, no rebuke, just provision for a depleted soul. And when Elijah wasn't ready to get up after the first nap, God let him sleep again. He met Elijah's humanity with divine kindness, because burnout is not rebellion, exhaustion is not sin. Running to a cave doesn't mean your calling has expired. Even in the cave you are not alone. When Elijah finally spoke again, he poured out his pain. "I am the only one left." God didn't argue. He listened. Then he reminded Elijah that he wasn't alone. 7,000 others hadn't bowed to Baal. What does this mean for you? It means your most vulnerable moment is not the end of your purpose. It might be the beginning of something deeper. Victory sometimes looks like calling down fire, but other times, victory looks like letting yourself be held. The God who met Elijah under a broom tree is here now. With that assurance, let's turn revelation into surrender. Let's pray. Father, I've run as far as I can on my own strength. I've tried pretending. I've tried performance. I've tried carrying things. You never asked me to carry, and now I surrender. Not as a last resort, but as a holy decision. I place into your hands my exhaustion, my overthinking, my disappointment, my timelines, my survival strategies, my silent questions, my frayed edges. I lay down the version of me I've been pretending to be, and I choose to let you hold the real me. Because you don't need a polished version of my faith. You just want my heart. Even now as I pray, you are breathing new life into dry bones. You are rewiring what fear tried to destroy. You are whispering to my soul, you are still mine. So I lean in, not because I'm strong, but because you are. Not because I see the way, but because you are the way. I am not what I feel. I am not what I fear. I am not what I failed at. I am yours. So, Lord, wrap me in peace, anchor me in hope, lift me in your arms, and hold me together, until the day I no longer need to be held, because I'll be home.